No fake sweeteners, no soy, just real protein that's gonna fuel you. Clean and your protein.
The idea for Mitzo started with a food truck in Alberta. Then it evolved into his love for dry meat, and now Ian Gladue says Mitzo has grown into something so much more since he first started. Last November, Mitzo announced that it has signed a multi-million-dollar investment with Raven Indigenous Capital Partners. The investment will expand the company's manufacturing capacity at its Edmonton production facility, move towards a larger cross-country distribution system, and create more products across its line of meat snacks. Officials say the investment will amplify Indigenous leadership in the food industry. Gladue says the results are in the product, with a focus on delivering authentic traditional food experiences that use natural and local ingredients, which promotes nutritional wellness. We recently spoke with Ian Gladue from Edmonton. Here's that interview. Ian Gladue, thanks so much for chatting with us. Can you talk about your humble beginnings when Mitzo was just a dream and you only had your food truck? Why did you want to start Mitzo?
Yeah, I think for me, it was really important the more I learned about my identity of who I was. I realized that when we started the food truck, although bannock is a traditional staple now in our culture, there was a timeline to when sugars, salts, flour, all of those came into play. A time of when our people were becoming colonized. And I wanted to really have something more in depth and something more true to Turtle Island.
You're now selling pemmican and dry meat by the truckloads across the prairies. Can you explain the day when you realized that this business venture was going to be much bigger than it already was? I'm thinking about that announcement you made just last November.
Yeah, so I think for me, it probably it clicked in for me as soon as we signed those papers, and it's amazing to think where you were at. You started off on a little food truck and out selling bannock burgers to the first federal facility of its kind, Indigenous owned, to sell traditional meat snacks like this, and to sign those papers, to know that people believe in the mission, believe in the purpose, what we're doing. I think that's when everything really dialed in for me, as when we signed those documents and all of the paperwork. So, yeah.
That's awesome, Ian. We're so happy for you. With any big business, there is always challenges to face and overcome. Ian, what were some of those challenges for you with Mitzo?
I'd say the biggest challenge for me is, how do you educate people who don't want to be educated? That is probably the biggest struggle. Our foods date back thousands of years. Our people, no questions asked, we know what the product is. We know dry meat, we know pemmican, but modern world society, how can they understand and connect to the story, I think is probably one of the biggest struggles for us.
I've seen a lot of your educational videos on social media, so you're definitely getting through to a lot of your customers there. You talk about this a lot in your videos on social media, but for our audiences, why do you want to make pemmican, Ian?
Well, the true reason why I actually started was so my mom didn't have to work again. That was the whole purpose. And as I learned about who I was, as this venture pushed me more to be a better version of myself, to understand the culture more, I didn't realize the impact it was going to make on our people. Thousands and thousands of people come around, they come to us talking about how we've inspired them to want something more. And as that evolved now, I use my voice and my platform now to bring that respectful space back to life here now. So I feel that's probably a big part of it here, of where I feel why and so on like this.
Finally, Ian, what is your message to other Indigenous entrepreneurs out there who have an idea but have never turned it into a reality yet?
Yes. Your past doesn't define you. I grew up on the streets. I grew up homeless. I grew up struggle, alcohol, drugs. I grew up a very hard life. But once you learn your identity, our identity is our power. That's where our power is. If you learn who you are, you can do anything. The culture will ground you. The culture, our way of life will bring you back to who you are supposed to be. So your past doesn't define you.
Such a great and powerful answer there, Ian. Ian Gladue is the founder, president, and chief rainmaker of Mitzo pemmican strips and dry meat. Ian, thanks so much for being here today, and I'll make sure to pick up some Mitzo pemmican next time I'm on the highway.
Let's go! Right on, man. Thank you so much.